video we are going to see a problem on isometric view, and for that here we have a question. It is given that figure below shows two views of an object. Draw its isometric view. So this is the question in front of us. Your front view and left hand side view of the object is given. So we can say that the two-dimensional object is given to us, and for isometric view we have to convert it into a 3D diagram. So just before converting it, we should know how much is the total length, height and width of the object. When I am looking into the front view, in that case the total length of the object and the total height is visible to me. So when I am looking from front, the total length is, this is 30 plus 30 plus 30. It means it is 90 mm. So here I'll write down the total length is 90 mm. Then for the total height, see, height is not given in the front view. For that I can see the side view. Here it is 25 mm from top, then again 25, which is 50, and then from here it is 50 up to the center. So I can say that from this top to the center the distance is 50 plus 50, that is 100 mm. Next, from this center to the radius of the semicircle it is 35 mm. So the total height is 100 plus 35, that is 135 mm. And the total width is not visible in the front view, but it will be there in the side view. So that width of the object is from this end to here, that is having the maximum width, and I can say it is equal to the diameter of the semicircle. So if radius is 35, this diameter is 70 mm, that is the total width. Now once I know the total length, height and width of the object, I can start with the isometric projection and explain it step by step. So let us get started. First, drawing a light horizontal line. Next, selecting a point, and then since for isometric projections we have to take 30-degree angle on both the sides, measuring 30-30 on both the sides. After drawing these two lines, next I'll draw a perpendicular line exactly at 90 degree. Now here this point will be called as the origin, and when we look at this object, your origin is given here. It means when I take this front view and keep it at this origin, then the length will be on this side as the origin is here. If suppose the origin would have been on this location, then I would have picked it up here and placed it on this side, means length would have been this side. But since the origin is here, length is going to shift along this line. So I'll mark the length over this, which is 90 mm. Then the height is 135. So measuring 135 mm from here. Next, the width is 70 mm, which I am marking on this side as the length is here. Drawing a light line. Next, I'll mark 135 over this vertical line as well. Marking 135 over this. Projecting this length parallel. Now over this, I'll be marking again 90 mm. So this is the block inside which I am going to draw the isometric view. Now, as explained, the front view is on this side. Here I am having the length and height. Next, this is the side view where there is width and height. Then this will use the top view. Now in the left hand side view, as we can see here, when the object is kept, then the first thing which is visible is this semicircular part. And when I look into the front view, it gets clear that this semicircular part is having a length of 30 mm, and like this we are having two semicircular part. One plate is here ahead and the same plate is there behind. So it means we have to draw the semicircle twice. So first I'm going to draw this or start this with the help of this semicircular portion, and I can say that semicircle is having a radius of 35. So I'll explain how it should be done. Radius 35, so diameter is 70 mm, and it is having length of 30 mm from both the sides. 30 mm from here, 30 mm from the other side. Drawing light vertical lines through them. Then after reaching here, since the semicircle is there on both the sides, so what I'll do, the diameter of the semicircle is 70 mm, so I'll be marking 70 mm here, 70 mm on the other side. Next, through these points I'm going to draw parallel line parallel to the width. Then measuring 70 mm, so here after marking 70 mm height, I'll mark 70 mm on the width as well, because here I would be drawing the semicircle. Measuring 70, then drawing parallel line parallel to the length, parallel. Over this I'm marking 30 mm length and joining them. Now this is one block inside which I'm going to draw the semicircular part. Like this, there is another block at the front that will also be of 70 mm sides. Measuring 70 mm, drawing parallel line. Over that I'll mark 30 mm, joining them. Now these are the two blocks inside which I have to draw the semicircle. So as it can be seen clearly, I will be starting from this portion which is there behind, because if I start from the front portion and then I start making it dark, that will result in some amount of confusion, because here the semicircle is not complete, it will end, that is, it is intersecting this portion. So it is better to start from behind and then move ahead, where we can completely draw the semicircle. Now explaining the method, in case of isometric projections we cannot get the semicircle directly, we cannot draw it directly. So here is the method which I am explaining. In that I have drawn a parallelogram corresponding to the diameter of the semicircle, and that diameter is 70 mm, and in that I would be joining the longer diagonal, which I can say is this, with a light line. Next I'll take the midpoints of each of the sides. After getting the midpoints, I'll join the top center to its opposite bottom corner in such a way that it will intersect this longer diagonal, so joining them with the help of light line. Next, bottom midpoint to the top corner intersecting the longer diagonal. Now here I need to draw the semicircle, and as it can be seen clearly from this diagram, semicircle is there only on the bottom part. So for that, here I'll mark the distance up to which the semicircle will rest. It will rest only in this portion, that's it. That is not above this point. So for that, here I'm getting one center where this line is cutting the longer diagonal, and taking this as the center, from this point here I am drawing a light arc, and remember it should be light only up till here. Then I can say that only this part of the semicircular portion is seen, Remaining whatever is there will cut the vertical portion, so it won't be drawn. Next, this same semicircular disc will be there behind as well, because it is having some amount of thickness. So for that, where this arc is cutting the longer diagonal, I am projecting this point behind and even the center. Now this is having a length of 30 mm, so center will go behind by 30 mm. Keeping this same radius, center has been shifted 30 mm behind. Now I need to join the parallel arc here, only up till here. That's it, it will end here. So drawing it light. Next, apart from that, there is even a circle inside the semicircle. That circle has a diameter of 35 mm. So now I would be drawing a parallelogram having sides of 35. So for that, first I'll mark the center of the parallelogram, which is exactly here. Next, for 35 mm sides, I'll have to take 17.5 on one side, 17.5 on the other side. So this gives me 35 mm. Next, through these points, I'll be drawing vertical lines, light vertical lines. Then measuring 35, that is 17.5 top, 17.5 below, and drawing parallel lines. So this is the parallelogram inside which the circle should be drawn. And again the method is same. First the longer diagonal, and here the longer diagonal of the outer parallelogram and the inner parallelogram is same. Next, already two midpoints are there. I need to get the other two midpoints. For that, this is 35 mm. So taking 17.5 and 17.5 to get the midpoint. Now top midpoint again will be joined to its opposite corner, bottom midpoint to its opposite corner. Now I need to draw the circle inside this parallelogram. For that, here I am getting one of the centers where the midpoint is cutting the longer diagonal at this location. Next, as I see here, the circle also will not be seen completely. That is, first taking this center, and here I have the radius. I'm going to draw a light arc. Then after that, keeping this center, and here that is the point of the parallelogram, smaller parallelogram, and where I had stopped up till there, connecting this point with the help of a light line. After that, getting the next center, it is where this line is cutting the longer diagonal, and then joining it. The bottom portion would not be seen because it is going inside this part, so it cannot be completed. It will be only up till here. Next, in a similar manner, here I would be drawing the semicircular part in this portion as well. So starting here, and then I'll go on making it dark. So again I am drawing the semicircle now onto this front plane. For that, again I would be joining the longer diagonal. Next, taking the midpoint of all sides. Next, joining the top midpoint to the bottom corner, intersecting the longer diagonal. Similarly, the bottom midpoint to its opposite corner, intersecting the longer diagonal. So here I am getting these two centers, and since I have to draw the semicircle, it will be ending only up to this region. Next, so taking this center, radius up till here, drawing a light arc. Next, taking the opposite center, we can say that from this side of the parallelogram, joining them. Next, similarly the semicircle is there behind as well. So for that, here I am taking this point behind where it is cutting the longer diagonal, this point also behind, and next the center which I had used, it will also go back, and Since I have to draw 30 mm behind, I'll mark 30 mm distance on this center line, keeping the same radius as taken below. Only the center is going to shift, which is here. I'll draw the semicircular part. Next, after completing this semicircle, inside this there is another circle having the same diameter, which is 35 mm as drawn here. So the procedure remains same, that take this as the midpoint, and from this I'll mark 35 mm, which I already have here. This is 35, projecting vertical lines through them. So here I'm getting the points and projecting them. So these are exactly giving me 35 mm length for the parallelogram. Then I have to mark their centers exactly at 17.5 on all sides. Then joining the top midpoint to its opposite corner, bottom midpoint to its opposite corner. Then here this circle will be complete because it is visible in the front view. Procedure remains same. Where this line is cutting the longer diagonal, I'm getting one of the centers. Similarly onto the other side. So now taking this center, radius will remain up till here, joining them with the help of light line. Then similarly taking this center, joining them light. Next, taking this opposite center, joining them with an arc. Similarly the center at the bottom, drawing an arc. Now inside this circle there will be another circle. Now let us see if we get that circle or not, because it is having a length of 30 mm. So at 30 mm behind another circle will be visible. So for that I am projecting a line parallel to the length. Now which are the points which I am projecting? At first I'll say that this center will be shifted behind by 30 mm. So I'm marking 30 over that. Now previously here the center was this, now it has been shifted 30 mm behind. Next, even this arc was drawn with the help of the center here. This will also be shifted 30 mm behind. So measuring 30 mm over this. Now keeping the same radius, center will shift 30 mm behind. Now if I see here this center is cutting inside. So when it is cutting inside, in that case it won't be drawn because intersections are not there in isometric projection. Otherwise if it would have been inside this circle, then it would have been fine. So no need of drawing this circle. So finally we have to just start making them dark, and starting from, in order to make it dark, I'll start from front and then go behind, because this is the portion which will be visible first. Again this arc will also be dark, joining them with the help of dark line. Next, after reaching here, This from the center to the top, the distance is 50 mm, which is the height. So from here, this center, I am making it dark up to 50 mm height. Then similarly from here, 50 mm. Next, I'll be joining it with the help of a light line. Now, at the center, if we see here, there is a projection of width 20 mm. So for that, I need to get the center. So I'm marking the center line here. Next, drawing vertical line through it. Now this portion has a width of 20 mm. So taking 10 mm on both sides. And now this 20 mm goes up to a height of 25 mm. That is, after 50 there is 25 mm height. So I'm taking the same distance 20 and drawing vertical line through them, measuring 25 mm over it. From here I am drawing a light line. Now this surface is connected to another surface which is sloping, and it is a surface which is 50 mm from one side. So I will start measuring 50 mm from here, 50 mm on this side, and then it will be only there up to a 20 mm, I can say, width. So here I'll draw a light parallel line to the width, then taking the center here, I'm getting the center by joining these points. Next, the same 20 mm will be marked over here, taking 10 on both sides, and then making them reach up to this 50 mm length, up to this 50 mm length, and then I would be connecting them because that gives me the sloping surface. Next, after this, to this point where I have drawn this vertical surface, I am projecting a line parallel to the length. Then from this point I'll project a vertical line. Here I'm getting this vertical line. Next, after reaching there, I'll just draw it up till here, and then I can start making it dark. So first I'm making this slope dark. Next, connecting these points. So I'm making it dark. Next, after reaching at this stage, then I would be making these lines also dark. So this surface will go back up till here. And then from this here also we have a 10 mm cut, that is, both these planes would be joined 10 mm below. So for that I am drawing a line at 10 mm parallel connecting these planes. Now it will be only up till here. So for that the top surface are connected. So here I am making these surfaces dark, and as explained it would be connected 10 mm from here. So the connection will go only up till this region. Next, joining these two points, and now only this much part of the circle is seen, so I would be making only that much region dark. So only this much part of the circle is seen. Next, I'll draw a parallel line in order to complete the surface through this point and then make it dark. Next, after reaching here, this line is not there, which is looking dark. Actually, this should be a light line, so I'm just making it light. It is not there part of this drawing. This line should have been light because the actual line is at this location, so this has to be light. This line should be eliminated completely. And now if we see this diagram which was given to us, here there were two semicircular discs, as I can see here, with a gap of 30 mm. Then inside both of them there are circles having the same diameter 35 mm. So I've explained how to join them, how to draw them. Next, both these semicircles are joined with the help of this connection which is 10 mm below. As seen here, they are connected. Next, above these there is a portion which is 50 mm in length, and then it is sloping, connected at 25 mm above this 50 mm height from the center. So here is the complete drawing, and we don't need to give dimensions for such a drawing, which is isometric projections. And here the object is having total length of 90, height is 135 mm, width is 70 mm, and with this we complete the problem.